All right, so how do you get out of fear and into trust and knowingness and being yourself on a very practical level? So, I talked in my last video about going from being in the boxes of your mind, all the beliefs, all the identities, all the personalities, all the you got to do this, got to be that, should do this, should be like that, and how none of them actually mesh together. They contradict each other. So, anytime you're living from identity, you're going to be lacking self trust, self confidence. You're always going to be wrong. Literally, you can't be right because all the beliefs conflict. How do you practically, in everyday life, get into living from a place of your beingness and from real self trust? This becomes very physical. So, everything we talked about was up here, right? That's why I often ask you to take a deep breath with me. Let's take a breath. If you're not doing this regularly, well, this is where we start. Big inhale, stop thinking. Exhale slow through your mouth and feel your awareness merge down through your body. Feel your hips, feel your legs, feel your feet. Start to be fully in your body all the time. And yeah, when you do this, as I mentioned in the last video, a lot of times the emotions become worse because you haven't been feeling them, you've been avoiding them. So just know that if things are uncomfortable because you're more in your body now, that's normal, but it's temporary. I promise you. You are merging into your body. You, as creator, are merging down into the body, and those emotions are merging up and out along with the stories. So let's take another breath together. Open up, kick back, relax, breathe, and feel as I talk, because I want you to feel this with me. And in fact, use your imagination if you'd like. So, how do I make this practical in everyday life so you can actually embody this and it's not just a concept? Because right now, maybe a lot of the spiritual stuff or the life stuff that you are aware of is more like concepts and narratives in your mind, as opposed to an experience of your presence here in a body on earth. So let's say you wake up in the morning. Do. What do? You take a breath. You feel what it feels like to be alive before proclaiming, I'm alive. Yay, what a miracle to have this crazy human anatomy thing called a body. You feel what it feels like. You feel your sheets, you feel your bed, you feel your skin, you feel your breath. This is embodiment rather than awakening or maybe channeling information, which comes from the chakras up here, as opposed to living as the flow of source in a body, your own unique frequencies and tones. So instead of just up here, we're bringing all of you all the way down through the body so you can be you in a physical form. So now what? When you get out of bed, now, I always welcome my whole team. Let's go, guys. Clear the way, pave the way for me. I want you to clear out any conflicts. I'm welcoming nothing but love, enjoyment, joy, whatever's really going to benefit me. And yes, I'm excited to be alive. I had to choose that. That wasn't there. Back to the chicken and the egg, what came first? It wasn't there. I chose it again and again, and partially because if you also have experienced a massive shift in consciousness, a full Kundalini awakening, and your death experience, what many call the realization of your true essence, embodied realization, um, whatever term you want to give this thing that has been traditionally called enlightenment, when you experience your true nature, quite often people want to leave. They're like, meh, I don't really care anymore. Like, boy, this planet is kind of harsh and these energies are pretty tough. And, I love my family and all, but I'm eternal. That's just a biological human thing. They're not really like, your family's not really your family in that way in true creation. They're just a thing for the biology to come onto the planet and experience these things we call families. And a lot of people leave. And why do they leave when they experience this embodied realization? Because the next step is true embodiment. And that is uncomfortable. So you already know your perfection. Oh, I remember who I am. For me, I call it nothing. I'm nothing. Pure consciousness. It's such a relief when you have been experiencing all the to-dos and should be's and all the pressures and fears and worries and the lack of love and all this. When you release all that, it's such a relief. Of course, you just want to go there. It's like very common. I didn't want to really come back when I had my experience. Alas, I was meant to come back. The problem is now you come back and you've still got all this gunk that you know is not you, all these heavy emotions and beliefs. And it takes linear time and commitment and patience to allow all of that to leave. And that's what the whole planet is doing right now. That's this earth evolution, the new earth, the new energy. We're all waking up to who we truly are. Some may be a little slower than others, but it's actually happening planetarily, right? Rather than just a few here and there, as it was, centuries ago. So just know the more you're feeling, rather than judging it, celebrate it. Great. I am embodying more and more and more. Oof, I'm feeling all this emotion. But when you know it's not you, you can take a breath. Now, practically speaking, all right, I'm feeling a lot in my body. That must mean I am becoming more and more and more embodied. I'm not leaving my body. I'm not numbing out. I'm not distracting myself. I'm here and I'm alive. Wow, this is the feeling of life in a body. Maybe I've been so numbed out, so dumbed down by all the mass consciousness boxes that I didn't experience fully being alive. And yeah, it's tempting to run away from the emotions and all the intensities. But if you look around at the folks who are barely living, who are just going through the motions, just trying to get by, just trying to survive, would you rather live like that or really live full on? It becomes rather than so scary eventually as you become clearer and clearer and clearer in your body. First of all, your body gets healthier and healthier. You have more and more energy. In fact, it can be at times hard to figure out what to do with all the energy, hard to sit still because you have this constant stream of this high vibration running through you as your body speeds up and can hold more of your light, really. So when things get tough, you celebrate it and you see through the old delusions of, oh no, what am I doing wrong? Why is this happening? Da 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 da, all the judgment, all the doubt, and you celebrate because you are feeling. And the more and more you come from here, trying to figure things out, to here, and just breathe and feel and create space between you and those boxes of identity, the more that the awareness is going to arise and arise and arise within you. And you know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And now we're going beyond trust. But it does come through trust. But we're going beyond trust into your flow as creator. Where you take a breath and you sit back and you're in this beingness. And then all of a sudden, whether the phone rings or you get an email or an idea comes to you, a feeling arises, you know what to do, when to do it. You don't always know why to do it, at least not for me. And I should put a disclaimer here. This whole journey is unique for all of us. But you often won't know why you're doing what you're doing. And this comes back to trust. You follow through and you see. because up here wants to control, it wants to know the outcome. And let me tell you, there is a lot of old assumptions being made here. I'll give you an example. The other day, I was coming home from work and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should stop and get some food. And I kept getting this image of a restaurant in my awareness. And I was like, I don't want a sub sandwich. Because up here, this guy was like, I don't want to eat that. It was so tunnel vision. So your ego mind is like this really stupid little tunnel vision. It cannot see shit. Okay. And anyway, I said, okay, well, I keep getting this, so I'm just going to go and whatever. I get to this restaurant and the owner, I believe it's the owner, the guy working, was the most amazing human. And we kind of bonded about music. I commented about one of his pieces of art on the wall. And then he pulled up a video that was like really beautiful. And he was talking about how heart opening this video is. And I was, we were just having this amazing like heart opening experience. And it was funny because I was the only one there as we were talking, and he's just taking his time, put this video on a big screen. So like while I waited for my sub, I got to sit and watch it a few times. It was really cool. It was Foo Fighters during COVID. They had all these different artists, times like these, if you're into music. It's a really good video. And all of a sudden I look back though, and there's like 10 people in line behind me, and he didn't care. I didn't even notice. We were in a love bubble, not a romantic love bubble, just one human really connecting with another joyfully. And it was so expansive and beautiful. And so when I drove home, I was laughing hysterically because I'm like, oh my God, it was not about the sandwich. Who cares about the food? And I'm like, remember, Kathy, because it's so easy to get back into the hypnotic old patterns of the mind and the beliefs and the ego and assume something is this. And it's such a tiny little viewpoint. But when we take a breath and we open up, that's when those ideas come in. That's why I kept getting the vision. So as you go through your day, practically speaking, take a breath often. Open up and feel. Find moments of silence. If you're like me, I chose to sit for hours, days, weeks, months, I don't know, years in silence. That's how I had that big Kundalini awakening. There was a lot of silence of just watching the mind and refusing to engage with it. So that's one option. But not a lot of people can just totally withdraw from life for years and do that. And you're not being asked to. You can absolutely, and eventually you need to. Like that was a phase, and eventually I was called to bring all of this silent presence into every action, every interaction. And that's what we're all being given the opportunity to do, to take moments of feeling. And this is where you become more open and receptive because you're always being guided, you're always being steered. Sometimes there's nothing to do, and you just sit back and relax and feel the beauty of your presence and being alive. Honestly, feeling your presence, being in presence, open, clear, that is more than enough. There's nothing you even need to do. For those of you who have embodied this state of consciousness, who are living from this space, even if it's just for certain moments throughout your day, you're doing more for the planet, for the light coming onto the planet, and to stabilize the energies on this planet right now than you could imagine. Those of us who went through this early are stabilizers and amplifiers. We're amplifying the light and we're stabilizing all the energies, not from up here at all. You don't have to do anything, just from allowing your presence to expand through your body. So I would say in everyday life, that is a huge reason to feel very good about yourself and what you're doing, rather than oftentimes up here, the mind's like, well, what are we doing? Nothing's happening, blah, blah, blah. I want this, I want that. I don't want this, I don't want that. Why am I not further along? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever all this is for you, take a breath and feel. I know because you've watched this whole video that you, like me, have chosen to discover and explore and live as who you truly are in this lifetime. And that radiance of you, your creator essence that you have brought through this body of yours, is a miracle. And it performs miracles. It stabilizes other people's energies, planetary energies. Again, not because anybody's broken or you're trying to fix anything. All is perfect. It just is. It does it all on its own. It takes no work from you. So allow yourself to be in presence. Feel the beauty of you and your journey. When the emotions come up, celebrate them. Great, I'm feeling. That means I'm in presence. Don't go up here into the stories as much as you can. That just keeps re-embodying the same old emotions and keeps putting the boxes back on to your consciousness, keeps you in the little tunnel visions. And just know that you are doing so, so much for this planet, for humanity, for creation. A lot of folks feel like they should be doing more, like they should have a YouTube channel or they should work with people. And if you want to, do it, great. But things don't happen as fast when you are embodying as they happen from the ego. And I'll explain that because in the old egoic sense, you just put together a plan, you made a goal, you step one, step two, step three, step four, you did it, and it happened, and great. Today, every step that you take, you're going to take a step, you're expanding through another level of your, I'll call it your aura, of all your lifetimes, of all your experiences since first separation. You're going to expand through that next level. And now there's going to be a bunch of old energy that comes up to leave. So rather than just plowing through things to get to the end, you take a breath, you sit back, you allow the energies to rebalance. So you allow the emotions to come up and out, and you might need to sit in front of the couch and, I don't know, cry for a day or something, or a week, whatever. I cried for years. I had years where I didn't work, a good 5 to 10 years where it was full on with constant shifts and changes to go through it very quickly. But quick isn't always what most people would want because it was very, very, very terrifying and intense and at times just utterly horrific. But for you, you go through at the perfect pace for you. We all do. We're all unique and individual in however we designed this. And if you recall, you're the one up here saying, okay, we're going to go at this pace, do this, whatever. So it's all designed by you, for you, to perfectly suit you and what you wanted to experience in this lifetime. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being you, for embodying, for waking up and choosing, even to choose to come here and be with me on this planet. Namaste. Lots of love.